owned by the taxpayer. Now, a good example, and I'll pick one of the larger businesses in the area, Walmart. If they have a facility that is not owned, or there's a public warehouse across from their facilities, that they do not own it, they do not control it, and they store all of their inventory over in that facility, then the exemption that we're talking about, this goods in transit exemption, would exempt all of those goods from taxation. I think throughout the state, what you typically see now are that taxpayers that have these type goods, they own and control the warehouse in most instances where the goods are stored. Again, I don't know if it's going to give rise to a little cottage industry of public warehouses being built where you can move property, but the legislation was kind of aimed at a region where that was what was happening. Again, it was up in the Panhandle. That's not to say that it can't happen here. I don't know, and one of the reasons that I wanted to present this to you is that if there's existing warehouses, if you anticipate that there are going to be public warehouses built in the area, this may be something that gives you a competitive edge. It'll certainly, if the exemption takes place and there are warehouses built and people take advantage of the legislation, it's going to decrease your tax base because you're currently taxing these goods. The window of opportunity for you to vote on the item is between October 1st and December 31st. Again, you have to take action. You have to pass a resolution to continue to tax these very goods that you're taxing now. If you take no action at all, the exemption will take place, and then folks can make their application to the appraisal district that they can qualify for the exemption and they can get the goods exempted. And procedurally, if you think about it, and again, come back at your next meeting or prior to December 31st, you'll want to take into consideration. But if you decide that you want to continue to tax these very same goods that you're taxing now, number one, you'll have to have a public hearing, and you'll need to put that on your agenda. The legislation did not prescribe any publication requirements where you have to put it in the newspaper. I know that folks that are doing it now are putting it, or entities that are doing it now, are putting it on the agenda as a public hearing item to allow public comment, expression, opinions to be expressed. And then after that, they're putting a separate agenda item for action on or a resolution to continue to tax the goods. I think in your packets, I know that y'all had the firm's letter that kind of goes through and talks about the various issues that we've been discussing. There's also, and I don't know if you have this in the packet, but Judge, there were sample forms for city counties. Okay. And if you want one that's in Word, you just go to our website, pbsm.com. It's out there where you can pull down or download a Word document and just make the changes. Again, that's at a later meeting if you decide to continue to tax these very goods that are being taxed now.
Okay. You know what I did is I think I might have misunderstood you, or I misunderstood this, and I have that on there as today. So what I do is we can do it on a regular agenda and just mention it as a public hearing and give everybody the opportunity to speak, and then adopt that, right?
If that's the action you want to take, and it'll require two items. One, public hearing on the goods in transit amendment, and item two would be consider take action on resolution to continue to tax the goods in transit.
Now, can that be done on a regular agenda, Mr. Banks, or does it have to be a public hearing then the meeting?
It can be done both on the same items at a regularly scheduled meeting.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for that clarification. No, I wouldn't say thank you like I'm done. I want to make sure we're putting it on the agenda right. Yeah, because Mrs. Frankie had sent me a copy of the last one, and I kind of similarly followed that, which was, but I see what you're saying now, just to do it that way. So we're not taking any action today.
You don't want to take any action
today. We're not doing anything today.
It's for discussion. If there are questions, and let me also mention that I think everybody, well, on the letter, you got my phone number, the email address. If there's questions, feel free to call me. But again, you do have to have it posted, give the public an opportunity to comment.
Okay, public hearing then. Okay, go ahead.
Now, this property, if they move it before that, is it 175 days?
175 days.
If they move it before that said 175 days is up, then you can't tax it?
That's correct. And
So how do we determine that it's been there for 175 days?
well, that's part of the appraisal district's function is to monitor and then for folks to render. I mean, it's not necessarily an easy task, but it's something that the appraisal district folk will be monitoring those activities.
So that's not something you and your firm does?
No, that's, if they don't pay the, if it's exempted, it would never even fall into our basket. But if it's, once it goes delinquent, it's where we get involved.
And if we do that, Mr. Banks, we just Carol needs to have a copy on file, and then a copy goes to the appraisal district, right?
Correct.
So we know what we're doing.
And
Correct?
one of the things that I suggest, that is correct, Your Honor. And one of the things I suggest is you might want to coordinate, you might want to talk to other entities, because this is something that every entity acts independently. The county can pass a resolution and continue to tax these potentially exempt goods or inventory. The city, the school district will also be taking action or not taking action. So it's something that I know that Kathy at the appraisal district has sent out this information to all of the entities.
Ms. Frank gave it to us, and your firm sent it too, so we got it a lot.
Yeah. Well, and again, it's something that I've talked to several entities, and I don't. There was a Freeport exemption there still is a Freeport exemption that was similar, except that the Freeport exemption was directed at goods that were going to be transported outside the state. This goods in transit really is addressed at goods that necessarily won't even leave the state. They may not even leave the county. They may just be crossing over, because it talks about 175 days. It has to go from that public warehouse to somewhere else. It could go across the street with the broad language in the statute. I don't know how much impact it will have. I don't think anyone knows for your particular situation. You might want to talk to the appraisal district and find out what is estimated as far as the amount of goods that will be exempted currently, the potential for goods in the future, in making a decision. Again, if you decide you're going to allow the exemption, you don't need to do anything. It doesn't appear on another agenda. It's only if you're going to continue to tax the goods that you need to have the public hearing and then vote on the register.
So in the public hearing is when we decide that?
Well, after the public hearing, you'd have an agenda item to take action.
Okay, gotcha.
And your recommendation is to continue to tax?
Well, let me say this. I can't tell you that I'm here to advocate for or against, because I don't know the local economy, and I'm not trying to take the lawyer's way out of waffling. Or I don't know. I mean, there's going to be folks that it absolutely is justified to continue to tax the goods. There may be situations, for instance, if you're not talking about, and I don't want to use that term economic growth because it sounds like they were trying to stifle it, but there may be no reason to decrease your tax base. There may be a very good economic incentive if you've got folks that are looking at building warehouses, if you've got folks that are wanting to come in and put in whatever goods, pipe, whatever, and store it off-site, and it's going to bring them to your county as opposed to going to B County, there may be a very good justification for doing it. So it's not, I really can't get here and or stand up here and advocate it's something that you need to do or it's something that you don't need to do. What I want to lay out is some of the things that you'll want to do as far as due diligence. That is, talk with the appraisal district, find out as far as goods in transit, Freeport, what type of goods are currently being exempted countywide. Now, that's not going to be, dispositive of the issue, because it's going to be what this legislation leads to in the future. And again, I made that little comment about a little cottage industry. I suspect that's going to take place in certain counties where there are going to be warehouses, there's going to be empty warehouses that will become attractive to folks who have, large warehouses of their own where they're storing stuff that they can ship it over to an unknown facility and all of a sudden exempt, tens of, if not hundreds of $1,000s worth of inventory. So I can't recommend it to you one way or the other.
But they don't necessarily have to move it out of the county. They could just move it across.
They can move it across the street.
So,
But and the key is it's got to be a publicly owned warehouse that they don't control. You know, if it's their own, if whatever business has their own warehouse, that this exemption does not apply. This actually is a narrowing of the other exemption that was considered back around 06, 07, because it dealt with goods that were in assembling and manufacturing. This exemption kind of somewhat narrows it, but by narrowing it, it kind of makes it more attractive, or in my mind, it'll entice folks to maybe take some actions that they wouldn't otherwise do, and that is move some property to a publicly owned warehouse so that they can take advantage of the exemption. And I don't mean that as in a bad way. I mean, that may be something that if you can get a business attracted because of that, then you may want to do it. If you're thinking, we don't need to do that, we need to keep our tax base where it is, then you want to take official action to continue to tax those goods.
almost sounds like a double-edged sword.
Well, it depends on your local situation.
And we just need to do this before December 31st.
Before December 31st, you can, and let me also comment, if you take action now, if you pass a resolution to continue to tax those goods, and then next year you find out that it has stymied economic growth, that you've got folks that are coming to you saying, man, we would have come here, but now we've moved over to B County. You can undo your action next year. You have to take action in the year prior to taxing the goods. So if you take action now, before December 31st, you will, if you like the resolution that I provided, if you adopt that, then those goods will be taxed. And then you can review it, see what happens, see if there's consequence, as far as folks not wanting to come in here or making comment, and review that next year, and you can undo it. Same thing as if you don't take action and you exempt the goods and you go, gosh, the appraisal district tells us we took a $2 million hit on our levy or our appraised value, you can go back in next year and take action. So they've given us some opportunities which they didn't necessarily with the Freeport. Freeport was kind of like you got to make a decision and live with it. And this one gives you, it's more forgiving or more friendly, because you can take action now and then undo it next year after you've had a chance to
stand for a year at least.
Yeah, it'll have to stand for that 1 year.
Any other questions for Mr. Banks?
All right. This doesn't affect the company that owns their warehouse and has stock in their warehouse.
That is correct. It's only
public warehouses.
that is absolutely correct.
Thank you, Mr. Banks.
Thanks for providing that clarification.
You bet. And again, if you've got other questions, feel free to call me, and I can provide any, hopefully, information that'll help you make a decision between now and December 31st.
Okay, your numbers are right here.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Charlie.
Thank you. So on number 21, are we just doing discussion only, no action? Discussion only, no action. Everybody okay by that? Thank you. Thanks so much, Mr. Banks. Thanks, Ms. Frankie, for getting in for us. Number 22 is to discuss, approve, disapprove an out-of-cycle bill payment to Clarence Smarts for fence work done at the recycling waste collection site in the amount of $6,628.90. It's money to be reimbursed through a grant, and that's James.
He finished the building, but not on time to turn in his bill to collect, so that's why I put this on the agenda to get him a check cut out, because he did it in a hurry for it. Not like, he did a good job, but he did it to go ahead and meet our goals, so finish things, and he has the building and the fence and everything, so I put it on there because he needs to get paid.
This payment's actually for the building itself, right?
This is for the building.
Fence we've already paid.
Right.
Yes. I saw that.
That was on the last one. I'll make the motion to approve out of cycle bill payments to Clarence Smart for fence work done at the recycling waste collection site in the amount of $6,628.90. The money is being reimbursed through the grant.
That's it.
All in favor?
But it's not for fence work.
It's not for the fence work. This is just for the building.
Just change the fence to the building.
Correct.
No, it's a fence work.
I'm sorry, no. It's not for the fence. Can we
It's
still do
building
it?
work.
Can we still do it, Mr. Busman? This is all.
It's the same thing, no? It
That's
is?
the same grant.
Yes.
It was the same grant.
Same grant.
Same project. just
But it was a
different
fence
form.
work grant. Just amend it to say building or what?
Building.
Fence building or fence/building?
No, the fence has already been paid for. This is just has to.
Can we do that, Mr. Busman?
With
Is that the same
with
grant?
that
Yes, it is
change.
the same grant. Okay. So did somebody second that?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Did you second it as amended?
Yes, I second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The next item on the agenda is to discuss, approve, disapprove appointing Randy Stevenson to serve as a county representative on the Reinvestment Zone Board of Directors, which is the Reinvestment Zone Number 2 Interlocal Participation Agreement and appointment of an individual to serve. This zone is designated by the City of Kennedy, and eligibility for criteria is found in Tax Code Section 311-009E1 as amended during the 82nd legislative session, and that's me. If you'll look, we have a letter from Ford. It's the City of Kennedy on top. And it's just asking for somebody to serve on that reinvestment board, and it breaks down that criteria of that whole section in there for you, which is you need to be a resident of the county or zone in which it's located or an adjacent county, or you need to own real property in the zone, whether or not the individual resides in that zone. So, and it says in summary, appointees must be at least 18 years of age, be residents of Karnes County or an adjacent county, or own real property in the zone. The adjacent counties include Wilson, DeWitt, Goliad, Live Oak, and Atascosa. And the only person that showed any interest or even expressed an interest in this to me was Randy Stevenson.
Okay, I approve a motion appointing Randy Stevenson to serve as the county representative on the Reinvestment Zone Board of Directors. Reinvestment Zone Number 2 Interlocal Participation Agreement and appointment of an individual to serve. The zone is designated by the City of Kennedy, and eligibility for criteria is found in Tax Code Section 311.009. As amended during the 82nd legislation section.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Carol, can you make us a little thing just with this motion that says that we did this to send to the City of Kennedy so they can put them on this board? Number 24 is the tax collector's report. And Ms. Frankie put, if y'all see something in there, this is just FYI from Ms. Frankie. She put this for you. Yes, well, yeah, I did that so y'all know it's different.
And total collections for the county, $2,515,248.07. The balance of the current road, $41,594. The percentage of collection on the current road, 98.3732. On the delinquent road for the county, $98,207.27. The balance of the delinquent row, $151,561.61. The percentage of collection, 39.3193. Road and Bridge Special, current collection, $234,572.24. The balance of the current row, $3,851.96. Excuse me. Percentage of collection, 98.3844. On the delinquent road, $7,652.46. The balance of the delinquent row, $11,226.95. The percentage of collection, 40.5334. The emergency fire district, total collection, $148,964.48. The balance of the current row, $2,661.34. The percentage of collection, 98.2448. On the delinquent row, $4,093.49 collected. The balance, $4,464.89. The percentage of collection, 47.8302. I went ahead and ran a list of the top 100 taxpayers. This is for the 2011 tax roll year. Just wanted y'all to look at it and see that over 50% of the top 100 are all companies or all related companies. Just so you are aware of what's going on in Karnes County. And maybe say thank you if you see these companies. The percentage, I'm also going to give a year-end report on the percentage of collection. involves all the entities that I collect for. To the right is Mr. Banks and his law firm percentage of delinquency. Karnes County, 98.3732. The delinquent percentage for Mr. Banks and his company, 39.3193. Road and Bridge, 98.3844. Delinquent, 40.5334. Emergency Fire, 98.2440. Delinquent, 47.8302 collection. Hospital, 98.1044. Delinquent, 37.5364. City of Rungy, 90.8614. Delinquent, 22.1079. City of Kennedy, 96.0424. Delinquent, 31.9291. City of Karnes City, 95.9939. Excuse me. Delinquent, 31.8293. City of Falls City, 98.3629. Delinquent, 81.0102. Falls City ISD, 99.4092. Delinquent, 70.4576. Kennedy ISD, excuse me, 98.0977. Delinquent, 39.5733. Rungy ISD, 98.7693. Delinquent, 22.8047. San Antonio River Authority, 98.3024. Percentage of collection, delinquent, 49.0110. Escondida Watershed, 97.0203. Delinquent, 37.9476. Evergreen, 98.3667. Delinquent, 42.8557. Hondo, 97.2628. Delinquent, 31.2475. And Eclado, we did not collect for them this year. Wanted to acknowledge my staff and Mr. Banks and his law firm for the job well done.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you,
Frankie.
Ms. Frankie.
Appreciate it. The next one is Vi. It's to discuss, examine, approve, disapprove the treasurer's report.
I think you have double copies of
I
it.
but thank you for the explanation.
And this is the September 30th. So this is the end of our fiscal year.
On page 4, on those balances of juvenile, is that the money we're just waiting for? On the negative balances?
Some of them, yes.
motion to approve the treasurer's report as presented.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye. Oh, any other questions, discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Vi. Next one's Luana and the payment of bills. Still one.
On page one, about middle of the page, there is one error I see. Reimbursement of half of attorney fees to buy, or it's in there twice, one of those will be removed.
I wouldn't do it like that.
So that was approved by court.
You gonna make a note on the original? Are you noting the original?
You have the original.
Oh, I just wrote on it. Is that okay?
Vi, this is Julie's bond here.
Yes, that's what y'all approved the last time, just the bill for it.
The one I did on page 2, emergency medical service. Allen Tree Medical Health, those are all supplies.
Yes.
Sheriff, those new cars that you get from time to time, you ever have any work done in warranty?
Oh, yes, sir.
Usually they don't break in warranty, they do.
Most of the Crown Vics stuff got 36,000 miles, but some take only get 36,000 miles on them.
That's from bumper to bumper, 36,000.
Pretty much.
I know the public can buy extended warranties, but maybe Sheriff's Department, new emergency medical vehicles cannot, I don't know.
Ever been offered?
Doesn't sound like a good deal, does it? I wouldn't offer it to them.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
I make a motion that we pay bills as presented.
With that one change.
Yes, with the change of the double entry for by.
I see.
And I just crossed it out. By did that because you write your own checks. I don't want somebody looking at this and saying
I
that
don't
you wrote
write
it twice.
those, the BCA checks, those go through Luana's office.
Okay, y'all don't both sign this?
They both sign them,
Okay,
she's the
well,
one
that's what I'm
who-
saying, y'all both sign them, so anyway, it's crossed out. Okay, guys, y'all initial it. Yes, please. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Who was the second on that? I apologize.
Mr. Carl here.
Thank you, Paul. Okay, or thank you for telling me. Thank you, Paul.
We got to sign it on
Let's go
this
this
side.
way. The next one is the report of fees, fines, money collected by the following departments: county clerk, district clerk, county attorney, justices of the peace, juvenile department, special fines. Carol, I have yours up here somewhere in my stack. Did you want to read it, Carol, or you want me to just give your total?
We just collected a total of $77,938.25 for the month of September.
And then the next one is, who's next? District clerk, Robbie, you want me to read it? You got it with you.
I've got it with me. All criminal fees we turned over to the county, $27.55.11. My civil fees turning over was $9,532.
Thank you, Robbie. Mr. Busman, yours is up here. Are you reading it? I have it right here. Are you reading it?
I'll just read it. For the month of September, we collected $2,615.23 for the purchase. We collected $1,232.72 for county food costs, for a total of the year-to-date, $9,900.31. Our hot checks collection for the merchants for the year up to 9 for the year is $47,271, and compared to last year, $36,822.70. I do have the council and the commission gave me a budget for a deputy and also for I think that's it. And that's making a difference. It will make a difference. I've been paying the difference for the part-time work before the beginning of this fiscal year out of my check fund, which is the money that the county attorney gets for making collections. And yes, yeah.
That's what Tifa's doing, right?
Yes. He is dedicated.
Yes, he is.
Good job.
Justice of the Peace, I have Daisy's, Kathy. She has on hers, new cases filed for the month. This is August of 11. She has 60 traffic misdemeanors, 2 non-traffic misdemeanors, fine 27, non-traffic misdemeanors 7, cases dismissed 2, after driving safety courses 2, after deferred disposition 1, traffic 1, non-traffic, after proof of financial responsibility 1, warnings administered 1, Class B misdemeanors only 12, and magistration warnings given 6. And her total revenue was $10,139.30. Carol, do you get a copy of these? Which
No.
ones? Do some people do a copy or anybody?
No, whatever you have is what I get.
Okay. That's the only JP one that I have. Juvenile, I have juvenile. They put their whole caseload on here, and it's the number of juveniles at the beginning of the month. They have 20. They have referrals on here. The number of deferred prosecutions, we had 8. The number of formal probations, we have 12. And the amount of fees we have collected is $105 and $100 for restitution. A lot of times on the fines and fees on these juveniles, you'll see these numbers low as there's not ability to pay. Well, on that, they don't meet the criteria. I mean, they're all on some kind of assistance, and they can't make payment. And so, anyway, we have there's a spot on there where we do waive it, so they can successfully complete their program without being punished for something they can't do. So we waive those, but they do pay restitution. Who's next? Sharon. Special projects. Sharon, you still here with us?
Yes.
There you are.
I submitted it for August and September. Separate reports. August, determination development applications, we received 9 for $225. For septic, we received 7 at $1,350. The inspector's portion is $700. TCQ $70, and the county received $580 out of that. For September, we received 9 development applications for a total of $650. On-site sewage facility for September, we received 6 for a total of $1,180. Inspector's portion $600. TCQ's portion $60. The county's portion $500.
Thank you, Sharon. And I guess that's it. Reports fine. Did I miss anybody? Does anybody have something that I skipped? The next item on the agenda is report from Road and Bridge. Jeff?
Beginning of this month, I think hired four truck drivers to help us repair some roads and some school bus routes that got in real bad shape. The drought is taking a toll on that caliche. It's pumping out real bad, and with the high amount of traffic that's on it. County Road 209, 210, and County Road 197 are all school bus routes. County Road 210 is run by 2 school districts. 209 is run by 2 school districts. We fix that road so they can make it through there. County Road 354, right off the pavement into the pavement at Murphy pumped the road out. We went to Murphy, talked to Murphy to see if we can get them to help us repair the road. We failed on that part. I took in repaired it. We put 4 truckloads of material in it, fixed it, we bladed it, we watered it all the way down to the river, repaired the road. County Road
That's 354 to the.
It's either way, right or left. It's going to left going out the river. Yeah, it's going by Mr. Smith's house. Yeah. And
be to the north.
County Road 352, which is the first county road as you go north and coming out of Karnes City, which is in James Precinct. It's about 2.5 miles long. Conoco Phillips called me here about 3 weeks ago and asked me if they could meet with me. We went out there and looked. They hauled that whole road out for us from one end all the way to the dead end. And then there's another little road, 353, that dog leg off of that road. They're going to also haul that road out all the way to the dead end also. So we got we're going to have a little over 3 miles of road that they just hauled out for us. And they also put dust control on that road for us. So we're in good shape. That's a real good company to work with. Some of them willing to help us. Another couple of weeks, I got a dozer coming. We're going to start the project on Wofford Crossing on the bridge. We're going to start working on that. I got some material stockpile for it. We're going to start working on that. I did talk to a contractor just to see what a contractor would charge us to repair that big washout there, which has been there for about 6-7 years now, and not longer. Contractor gave me, he said he would do it for about $250,000. It's going to take lots of material, and it's going to take a lot of man labor to fix it. It's an expensive job that's going to, I'll have 4 people working on it, probably for a good month and a half to get it done. But I'm going to continue hauling on roads that need to be hauled out. We're still focusing on school bus routes that are tore up. Try to keep the school bus routes going. These all field is taking a toll on a lot of roads, and it's the drought did. But now the roads are, with this rain, really helped because they're starting to pack out. And some of the roads that were real bad actually got a little improvement. You can actually drive them now.
In your defense, last night I came down 99 and took a left on 1144 there in Coy City. Man, I could not believe it. I know we don't have a road that bad. I mean, there's spots of pavement missing everywhere. That's a state farm park road. Have you gone down 1144?
Yeah, better to drive our county roads.
My God.
They have nothing left of it.
Unbelievable.
I'm with it.
It was like a war zone.
That's not the only one they got.
And Jeff, you said we're
I've been down there.
Go down 627.
Personnel, we're doing how many? I thought we had 10.
I'm up to 12 people right now, and I got another gentleman that's coming in. I'm gonna interview him tomorrow. When the pay rate come up, and we got the pay that we needed, look like I'm getting employees to come up. We got biggest deal as I'm going. I got 5 maintainers running today. I got 5 maintainer operators. We're running 5 maintainers. I got 1 down. We're waiting on I ordered tires, and the tires should be in pretty quick. We started robbing tires on the one that broke down to keep the other one rolling, so because we were out of money to operate. It takes a while. And I got the 2 trucks. I got 2 trucks broke down. They're in San Antonio being repaired right now. One is a computer problem, and the other one won't dump the belly dump. The cylinders have to get refilled. So we got it in San Antonio. It's also the electrical problem on that truck. So trying to get the computer fixed so we have dumping. We can dump it, not dump it on the highway.
Jeffrey, all that concrete that's out here, a little, like I said,
Out of town right here with
yeah, you gonna use that on Waffle Crossing?
Yes, sir. And a bunch
So you
more.
know how long that.
I got Foster's going to be tearing out a bunch of slabs, a couple of slabs in Kennedy and stuff, and he's going to stockpile it on Walker's Crossing for me. And we're going to start building up the tank on the river, come around the forms, and we got to come up on that one about 15 foot, and it's going to take lots of material, lots of material. And the worst part is the drop off is about 30 foot.
You have to work in conjunction with the San
Land.
Antonio River Authority.
No, not on that. It's going to be repaired. You know, we got it repaired because TxDOT. Now, also, I got on TxDOT called me from Austin Friday, County Road 207, which was a uranium mine at one time that went across. The road runs across the uranium mine. County Phillips backfilled it, and the road is approximately 30, 40 foot wide right in there. The berms are washed down. We're going to have to go in there eventually, rebuild the berms, or that road will get shut down because if a car goes over that berm, it's a straight drop. Not a straight drop off, it's a slope that goes down, but that's got to get repaired too. So that's going to be another added cost that I didn't know that was coming up. But TxDOT did call me and asked me if we're going to have to do something with it.
Is TxDOT helping you in any way with that bridge on Waffle Crossing?
So those bridges, when county put their 10% to have those bridges built back then, when all those bridges were built, that's our responsibility to keep the maintenance up on the bridges.
They're not even giving you any technical assistance?
No.
They're not going to inspect your road?
Well, they'll come back, they inspect the bridges, they tell us, they do the inspection on the bridges.
That's why they know it's messed up.
Yeah.
Jeffrey, on 207, you have to fill in on private property.
Not
Sir?
everybody
You have to
crosses.
fill in on private property.
On the,
On 207.
That's out bad.
yes, yeah. Are you talking about the bridge there? Yeah.
It's 2 floods, did it?
You know, we talked about 4.
Right, yeah. We're going to be working on that one also because that one ain't going to extend as this one here is on Walker's Crossing. Walker's Crossing is where I'm going to attack it first. That one there in Fall City, I think we're going to be cleaning out bargages and hauling bargages in there. And that's I'm going to attack that one. We're going to try to put a lot of black dirt in there, try to hold it, because that dirt there in Fall City is kind of sandy-like material, and it's not going to stay there. Once we build it up, then we're going to put the boulders around, just like TxDOT does around their bridges and stuff, and that's the only way it's going to hold. So it's going to take a lot of work.
And piggyback off of Jeff, I've contacted some of my people with Highway Patrol, CBE, they're in here working right now, so y'all be safe out there going home. I've got probably 5 to 6 for the next 24 hours. Me and Jody Zaveski, he has the same, pretty much all his roads are paved over in DeWitt County. And he's having the same trouble we're having, just like 1144, 887. They're tearing them up real bad, and we're competing for I keep saying license and weight troopers affection to come over and help us out, when these roads keep getting tore up. So, but that's what me and Jody's been working on over the last several months. Because they come over to run a task force, so JP's going to be getting a bunch of tickets here in a very short time. They were working this morning at 6 o'clock. I talked to them yesterday afternoon over around the Edna area. They said they'd be here. They were. So I feel for everybody here about these dirt roads and stuff, but we can only do so much. And on my license weight deputy is actually out here writing tickets as we speak out of a Crown Vic, waiting on other vehicles to show up. But he's actually started filing some tickets, and so we're trying to stop this.
Judge Pierce brought Mr. Busselman an article out of the Times that they're doing on this whole Eagle Ford thing, and it discusses the road conditions, and it's, just a whole area.
It's from
You
one
can look
end,
at it.
I think it's just
Yeah.
everybody's
See,
having
he
the
handed
same
it to me
problem.
this morning, but if you want to see it, it's in there. I have it now.
Maybe, Judge, maybe we could get Texas on the agenda or something. I would just wonder what they're gonna do with 11.4.
But you know what, though? we can't say anything to them, but their budget, remember the state budget crisis? They're going to ask us to pick up the expense.
Yeah, I know, but I would just like to know what they're.
I know that they have Goliath coming up and helping Orange County out. Because they've been over in Lundy area.
Yeah, they're using
Just trying to put some stuff on the roads to keep them from just totally having wrecks and stuff, But the Goliath division has come up, that's their assistant, because these guys are more behind, they have to catch up.
They're parking
Well,
their
just let
equipment in our county yards.
Let the public know that the county is not the only one with this problem.
But I don't want to ask them for anything, because then they'll ask us for, are y'all getting county funds? Because their budget's for 2 years.
Sir, I know they collect overweight permits, but I bet that's not enough money to fix that road.
Well, they don't charge fees like what we do for permits and stuff like that.
Is that all you have for us, Jeff?
Yes, I think that's it.
So but we're getting fully stocked on personnel too, right?
Yes,
Good.
we're coming up, and if I can keep some trucks on, I'm gonna keep leasing trucks to help us haul some of these roads out. From Pettis down here, it's running about $150 to $175 for the truckload to get material hauled here. But then look what they're paying, $3.85 a gallon for diesel, so they're not gonna run much cheaper than that. What it is do it is $5 up to that $6 mark to the road reports. And that's basically what it's costing. We load limit the 207 bridge there in Fall City. We just put signs on each side of the road, and they've been there forever, ever since that road was built. And we got that road tore up. I'm working with Plains on that. We're doing the top repair on that. I don't know if you've seen it. We're trying to do some repair on that road, but the truck went down last week, and it's in San Antonio getting repaired. Well, that's where it broke down, bringing rock back, and we had it towed into Sandex, and once that truck's come back up, we're going to go back in there. And what I'm going to do then, we're going to take and tally up the whole bill, and I'm going to take it to Plains. They told me that they'll get a contractor to fix it. When I gave them the contract, what the contractor wanted to fix the road, they told me it's a public road we can travel, but the wells are off that road, so they travel the road anyway, and they're still running the road, so they got to get their product in and out. So what we can do is we'll send them a bill and see where it goes from there. That's all we can do.
I noticed when I turned on 211, our county road is not tore up like 1144 is. Are you keeping them off on 211 or?
No, they're running 211.
How come it's not tore up?
Well, it's payment from the Fall City side is real heavy and stuff, but if you go back here towards 1144, it's falling apart.
Yeah, but I mean, your paved road was we're conditioned than the state.
We keep patching, putting patches on patches. 354 over here by the auction bar. Doing something with that road. That road is beginning to fall apart. The edges are beginning to cave off on it. We're going to have to do something with it. I'm going to have to do it extensive to get it repaired before it falls apart.
Okay, Luana, Jeff, I'm sorry, you done? I didn't mean to cut you off. Okay, thank you. Okay, Luana.
Okay, if you go to page 2, you'll notice the distinct similarity between that and what Vi turned in. Quick review of Vi's. I noticed there's 3 accounts on that page that are indicated with balances or negative balances that are not on her account. There's a certificate of deposit in the general fund with a $5.93 balance, There's a certificate of deposit in county and district clerk fees with a $911.62 balance. And then in contract election funds, the CD there shows a negative $911.62. I'm guessing those two 911.62s are receipted in backwards in the wrong accounts on the CDs when they matured. And on the certificate of deposit in the general fund for $593, I'm guessing that's probably interest, but I won't have an opportunity to know that until I go back and look at them. So the second 8 pages cover local government code 114.025, section 1 and section 2 for receipts and disbursements and statement of accounts at the end of the month. The next page is Karnes County's debt requirements as of September 30th, 2011, which covers local government code 114.0254. You'll note on that, as we discussed during budget workshops, that our obligation for the prison site, the Connolly unit, will be paid off in February of 2012. And the final page is additional items of interest that I thought you might be interested in. It's the interest earned during fiscal year 11, which satisfies local government code 114.025, section 5. Our total interest earned across county accounts for the year was $111,798.18. I've provided Carol a copy of the report also in file in the minutes.
Anybody have any questions that they'd like to ask Luana? Thank you, Luana.
Thank you.
That's a lot. This one. The next one is Carl. How many personnel do you have?
No, we don't have anything besides.
Okay. Hold on. Where's my line? Annex, Pete, you got anything?
Yes, I'll start moving next weekend. Okay, this week, Wednesday, we should have computer wiring hooked up for dual computer service to the courthouse and the annex. They start hooking it up. Get it on Thursday, David Vogel is coming down. We should get operating and maintenance instructions. He will take his final look at the handrails, put them inside, and whatever else is not done. There's one light missing, the light hadn't come in. But there should be no reason for that not to approve. We have, as I said, Carolyn scheduled to move Friday and Saturday. Daisy and Robbie and Mr. Jerry said to move Monday and Tuesday. And JD and Meredith are scheduled to move on Wednesday, Thursday, or whatever else they have to move. The Sheriff's Department is scheduled to move whenever he sees fit to move. So, should be in there before the end of next week.
We did get a certificate of occupancy. And we got the certificate of occupancy.
Yes, we have a certificate of occupancy. I didn't ask the one, you did get insurance, right?
To discuss insurance with you, different things that I need, or that TAC needs to actually officially write those. We are insured by notification, but we don't have the formal.
So the next is,
Pete, let me ask, that trench that we were gonna dig from the Sheriff's Department tower over to the Atlantic building, we started on that yet?
I I haven't called 811. I need to get them to identify lines, get them to identify lines. I got Terry's line just in case they're too good whenever we're ready. David said, don't worry about it. If it's a few days, I'll get that done. He still have the camera in there. They never will get changed whenever we get it. But it's working.
Do we have to dig it by hand or can we send it? Somebody said there was so much stuff in the way we probably.
A lot of it had to be by hand. Well, we have stuff we got to do. I expect to get a small printer to do something, but it'll be a whole lot by hand.
Precinct said, yeah.
How long is it going to take?
I think you just got to clear from change.
It'll not take 3 or 4 days.
Can I ask a question? When we start moving in, are we going to be able to secure what we have in our offices?
Yes, you will.
We're going to have keys.
There are keys. We got a whole big box full of keys.
It's not what we were told the other day.
How are these keys going to be accounted for? Just, I mean, are we going to get people to sign for them and have it documented?
We'll get keys to their offices, yes.
Unlike the different departments, like say Carol, for instance, who all's going to have a key to her office? Or Robbie, or Daisy, or whoever? Or other people other than them going to have keys to their offices?
Have a sheet of paper that says you signed for so many keys to your office or whatever. Just a design keys, and there's objection to keys and so forth. If you want to take charge of keys card, you take charge of keys. I've got the sheet of paper there. It's been signed. You get so many keys to your office or whatever.
I don't have one.
There's two master keys, which I told the sheriff will have one. There'll be one more. I don't know exactly where that'll go.
And a master key to open any door.
Open any door. Sheriff in charge of the building. He'll have one master key. There's a key box. Keys in it, spare keys, whatever. Kept in there.
So the only other person that would be allowed in other offices would probably be the sheriff, because he's the only one with a master key.
That's what I understand.
What about the janitors at night, if they're going to be coming during the night or the evening?
I'm going to request that the janitors don't go in my office if it's at night when I'm not in there. It's a security issue for records and money.
That's a big deal. That's a big issue.
We all have issues with that.
So then it'd be
But wait a
better for them
second.
to come during the day.
The workers should come during the day
Right.
while somebody's there. You can't just let anybody walk in your office.
But even our local janitors that are on staff and paid by the county,
Wait a minute.
Yeah, turn that off, Mr. B.
Go ahead, take it, Bob.
Go ahead, Luana.
the janitors that are on staff on county payroll, there needs to be a locked box in the building. They don't need to have keys to buildings or anything else that they take home, because I know for a fact that Joe has left his laying around somewhere several times and comes searching all over our building trying to see if he's lost his keys there. So we don't need the keys wandering around.
I didn't have time to get it on the agenda because we already had the agenda done, but I did request something from, I can request something from Georgia, whatever, how to deal with those, or forms to be made, or for Bob to make forms, or for somebody to make forms, for key forms, for everybody to sign key forms. But we need to know who has a key to every building out there, truthfully. It needs to be documented, and we can do that. I'll address it and get all that done and addressed, because the statute does address all that.
I do agree with some of the concerns of people locating to the new annex about having a master key if it's floating out there that would access their offices.
I think the only person that has it right now, I think Pete loaned it to Carol. I don't know if Pete got it back yet or not.
There's two master keys. I have one, Kruger had one. I don't know where they'll be. I was told the sheriff should get one. He's in charge of the building.
Well, I just personally, for security and the integrity of the files and records of the county, don't think anybody else besides the employees of the department should have access to it.
And the monies.
And the monies too.
That's security.
I do have, can we get that? Can I get the statute? I mean, I got an answer that there was statute, and I haven't pulled it up. So I don't think we should be answering those questions until we have it.
But we're moving in there on Friday, Barbara, and we need to have security. We were told there were 10 master keys.
There's not 10 master keys. I mean, there has to be master keys when somebody builds a building.
I understand that, but we would like to talk to the locksmith before we move in and have that secure. We've all got thousands of dollars in there on any given day. I'm not comfortable with other people having the key to my office and not taking the responsibility. If something's missing, there's 6 people in my office. I know it's one of those 6. If there's 2 master keys or 10 master keys, that's compromising the security
And
of my
I'm with
office.
Carol on this one.
I think we all are.
But I have to pull it up.
I understand the sheriff is in charge of the courthouse and the building. That's an annex. And what is he going to do in my office? If he has a master key to get into the building?
I really, like I said, this was kind of, we talked it over, me and Pete. I mean, there's a master key. I mean, I know y'all have, I don't have a master key to y'all's office right now. I can't get none
Mine's
of y'all's office.
foundation anyway.
I mean, that's kind of where it's at. And I mean, I'm under the impression, I do not want a master key. The first thing something's missing, they're going to come to me. I mean, my deal is just get in the building and get out. But we have floating around and plus a master key. So here we go again. We got 11 keys on 11 different key rings, plus all their employees, because everybody's going to have to cut a key off that for every one of the employees. So we're going to have several keys out here. And I think we talked about this before, Pete. If they lose one key, whoever loses that one key has to come up with how much money, Pete? $750? $750.
If you have responsible employees, you shouldn't have to worry about it.
That's bottom line. And I really don't want a master to that
The whole thing
courthouse.
is, when we don't have it on the deal, it's the status of the annex. We have to come up with a protocol then, okay? And it's got to be done by somebody besides us.
Right.
I mean, it's got to be done by Commissioner's Court. I know the statute says it's us, but I haven't had time to pull it up and read it. We were in juvenile all day Friday. We have not had time to do this.
But the sheriff should have a master key in case there's a fire.
But
What
if
is he going to do if there's a fire?
If there's a fire, he's gonna run in
Is he
there
going to
and
go
say,
unlock the door and get the records on?
But it's what
They're
it
going to
is.
break the windows down. They're not
There's
going to
also,
We have 2 master keys. Y'all want to destroy them, we'll just destroy them.
But wait a
Won't be
second.
any master
We need, no, wait. We need a protocol. Somebody needs a protocol of emergency purposes, of what's being done for emergency purposes in that building, and if nobody can get in, and everybody, because you need to read the statute. I need to provide y'all with that. I have not had time to print it. And the best I can do is Tuesday. We can post it, I can get something done this afternoon after we get through with all of our hearings, and we can have something Friday night. That's the best I can do.
Well, my question is, if there's 2 master keys, is the same key going to open every office?
Yes.
Or will
Yes.
each office be individual locks and the
There
master
are
keys
there are
goes to the
individual
building?
keys for offices.
Okay, so those masters are to access the building.
Those two master keys, I can open any door in that building with that master key. I don't want them.
That's the problem.
Sure.
That's the problem.
We'll send them to a security company or destroy them or whatever we have to do.
Well, you can keep the master keys to the outside doors. It's the inside doors.
We're not trying to hide anything. We're trying to protect what we took an oath for.
Let me ask you, this is a real simple, maybe a stupid question, but
I mean, to change the keys, I'm sorry.
photographs have copyrights and you can't make a copy. Are there keys that it says on the key?
It says on the key, do not duplicate.
It does?
Yes, it does.
Now, it'd be up to a reputable person not to abide by that.
They can't.
obviously, but-
I mean, they can't.
I don't think they have duplicate blanks.
I have what I got from Mr. Allison, but I don't think we can discuss it here. I can go get it. I haven't opened it. I haven't printed it. I asked for statute on buildings and whatever, because there's all that statute. I mean, unless you tell me to go get it, it's annexed.
And we have a safe vault. We got cameras on the doors going to the outside and on the inside. So anybody for the next 60 days after you go in that door, come out, I can retrieve it. Real simple. That's kind of where it is. The master key is not a real big deal to me, but I will be able to monitor once you get all the cameras in here, whichever that's going to be, within a short time that we can monitor that. And it's good for 60 days. Somebody coming and going out, so I've got them shooting down all the corridors and on the outside the 4 corners of the building. But we didn't have a security system for this building other than the cameras. And I brought that to everybody's attention. We have no alarms. We have nothing. So we got 11 doors going to the outside, and nobody's going to monitor until I come up with the cameras. Just like we talked about Carol, you need to have a lock on that deal that hits that door, and they can be outside with a book or whatever, just like everybody's. I don't like the design of the building. I've said that time and time again. Don't need that many doors, but everybody wanted a door to their own building to get in. So here we go again. We got all these keys, lots of people. Who's going to be there to let them in at night? On the janitors, if they do come in at night during the day, how they going to clean during the day? They got people working during the day.
They
They're
can
gonna come
clean
in.
now.
So, but we're talking several.
You're talking about a professional
Professional crew, not Joe and them coming
wax and
through.
stripping.
Sheriff, there,
They'll have
on the
to
outside of the building.
Sir?
There are cameras on the outside of the building.
Yes, sir, there is. That's why we looked at it over and over. I talked to Fogel time and time again about this, and Judge Kendall. Whatever. But they got all of them. But no, that's kind of where we at on that deal. I needed some kind of security system since this is going to be a courtroom, courthouse security. Even though it's an annex, I've got to have some kind of backup. And like I said, all these different doors going in from the outside, people can come and go. And like I said, responsible individuals, look how many people comes and goes.
That a lot of those doors could be subject to fire code. That could be why there's so many doors. I mean, without looking at
Exits.
Let's look at the real estate chunk inside the rock right outside.
So anyway, if you tell me we're on the agenda, I'll go get what he sent me. I haven't had time. I just haven't had time to do it. We had hearings all day.
Let's get it straightened out.
It's not on the agenda. Do y'all want to have a meeting Friday night? I mean, we can't make that decision too, but I can post something. We can all be back.
I'd like to, because I'll be moving Friday. I'd like to know that all my stuff is secure.
I agree.
I can't change the move date.
I can't have one on Thursday. I need 72 hours notice.
been there November of last year.
I have to have I could care less. I have to have
Changed.
72 hours notice. I have to post it within 72 hours. We cannot work outside the government code. I can't just pick and choose when to post a notice. After this, I have hearings till 2:30 or 3. I don't know. Maybe 3:30. I'll try to get one posted. I'll try to get it posted. It's going to take me time to type it, to give Sylvia what I want on there, to pull up the code, to get that code copied for y'all, to get everything done. When I put these agendas together, I know it seems like they're just come and go, but they're not. It takes time to pull all this stuff together for y'all. I don't know where we're at anymore. I'm lost. You're on you, Tracy. We're way off the agenda. We're somewhere on
About
this.
half of the month's worth, about 13.5, we'll be looking at permits for.
Make a motion to adjourn. We adjourn. Adopt. Do we have a second? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
You're off the record.
Well, they can really get into some good decisions here.
Key situation
Fine.
needs to be worked out.
Yes, Kelly's gonna come get it.